By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why your relationship with money is the way it is, traced to specific years of your childhood, and 3 things you can do right now to start rewriting it. The last one is backed by neuroscience, and it changes everything about how you think about financial change. So grab a seat, get comfortable, and let's get into it. Here's what most financial advice gets completely wrong. It treats money problems like math problems. Not enough savings? Here's a budget. Too much debt? Here's a payoff plan. But that's like handing someone a diet plan without asking why they eat when they're stressed. Technically correct, functionally useless. Because the real question isn't what you're doing with money, it's where those instincts came from in the first place. Cambridge University researchers David Whitebread and Sue Bingham studied over 1,000 children across multiple developmental stages and found that financial habits form by age 7. Not when you get your first job, not in high school economics class, 7 years old. And the Financial Health Network found that adults with high childhood financial trauma carry an average of $11,200 in credit card debt, nearly double the national average. That gap isn't a discipline problem, it's a programming problem. So here's the first thing you need to do. Identify your money script. Financial psychologist Brad Klontz spent years studying why intelligent, educated people make financially self-destructive decisions. Everyone carries what he calls a money script, a core belief about money formed in childhood. In his 2011 research published in the Journal of Financial Therapy, he identified 4 patterns. Money avoidance. Money is the root of all evil. Money worship. More money will fix everything. Money status. My net worth is my self-worth. And money vigilance. Always save, never spend, never tell anyone what you have. One of these will land differently when you hear it. That recognition isn't an accident. Klontz put it simply, money scripts are typically partial truths learned in childhood. And his follow-up research found that people who could name and articulate their money script showed 22% less anxiety around financial decisions in a 3-month follow-up study. Just naming it starts to loosen its grip. There's a free assessment, the Klontz Money Script Inventory, that takes about 10 minutes. By the time this video ends, you could already know which script you're running. Alright, that's the foundation. But knowing your script is just the starting point. Now here's where things get more uncomfortable. Think about the earliest memory you have involving money. Not a lesson, a feeling. Maybe it's a parent's voice going quieter when bills came up, the silence in a car after your dad checked the gas gauge and drove past the station, the way your mum's shoulders tightened at the grocery store checkout. You didn't need anyone to explain what was happening. Your nervous system filed it away as fact. A 2022 Fidelity survey found that only 56% of parents discuss money with their children before age 18. And of those, fewer than 20% ever discussed specific dollar amounts, debt, or their own financial mistakes. Most of us didn't learn money through conversation. We learned it through osmosis, watching body language, absorbing emotional atmosphere, catching our parents' fear like a cold. The price of that silence is real. The average American spends $314 a month on purchases they later regret, according to a 2023 survey of 2,000 adults by Slick Deals. Over 40 years, that's $150,000 in regret purchases. And a 2021 study from the Boston College Center for Retirement Research found that people raised with a scarcity mindset retire with $212,000 less on average than peers with similar incomes who grew up in financially secure households. That's the silence tax, paid in installments, over a lifetime, for a lesson nobody ever taught you. Financial therapists use an exercise called the money memory exercise. You write down your earliest money memory in detail, the physical sensation it creates when you recall it, the belief it installed. Then you ask one question, is this belief still serving me? A 34-year-old Reddit user drowning in $67,000 of debt on an $85,000 salary went through a version of this process and described it as the first time money ever made sense. They paid off $22,000 in 14 months, not because their income changed, but because they finally understood what was driving the spending. You are not bad with money. You are living out a story someone else wrote for you. If this is clicking for you, hit subscribe. I drop videos like this every week. And stay with me, because the last one is the one I've been saving. Okay, remember the marshmallow test? The famous 1972 Stanford study that said kids who wait for second marshmallow grow up to be more financially successful, proving willpower is the key. That became financial gospel for decades. But in 2018, NYU researchers Tyler Watts and Greg Duncan ran the study again with 900 participants and found something almost nobody reported. Once you control for family income and home environment, the predictive power of the marshmallow test nearly disappears. The kids who ate the marshmallow immediately weren't undisciplined. They were rational. Experience had taught them the second marshmallow might never come. What looked like a character flaw was actually an intelligent response to an unstable environment. That reframe changes everything, because here's what it means. The financial patterns you carry aren't character flaws. They're adaptive responses to the world you grew up in. And because they were created by emotional experience, repeated moments that wired your nervous system, they can be rewritten the same way. This is the technique. Harvard Medical School research, particularly work by Dr. Alvaro Pascual León, has shown that the brain cannot fully distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. Financial therapists use this to create what they call future memories. A 2019 study in behavior research and therapy found that mental simulation of new behaviors reduces anxiety response and increases follow-through by 47%. Here's how it works. 5 minutes every morning, close your eyes and imagine, in specific sensory detail, one financial behavior you want to embody. Not, "I'll be debt-free someday." Too vague. Instead, you open your banking app. You see $10,000 in savings, you feel the physical weight lift off your chest, your shoulders drop, you breathe differently. That's not wishful thinking. That's using the same neurological mechanism that created your original money script, emotional experience carving neural pathways. But now you're running it deliberately as an adult in the direction you choose. You didn't choose your first money memories, but you can choose your next ones. So there you go. 3 real tools. Identify your money script, trace your earliest money memory, and build new neural pathways with intention. The last one alone could change more than the first 2 combined. You came here thinking this was a video about money. It was actually about you. If this helped, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Because next week, we're going somewhere most money conversations are afraid to go.